And here we are. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We've got
Hi.
all these beautiful people in the house today and a new boomer. Let's go around the
No,
room.
old.
Phil,
Old boomer.
yeah, a new old boomer. All right, let's start with you, Phil. Welcome. And if you can introduce yourself.
Me?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll start with
I'm
you.
I'm What's Up Boomer. Phil with an F. Someone in the comments said, "Is that the way he spells his real name?" Only at work. So, let me mute this. They oh my gosh, guys. Only at work. So, can you hear that?
Yep. Yes.
How good? Oh, wait.
It's on the side.
It's me.
There we go.
There you go.
So again, Phil,
Me.
I went viral. I wanted to start a YouTube channel. I actually started 3 or 4 different times. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. Former school teacher, former advisor, former salesperson at an online personal training certification company, and now a stellar employee at Home Depot.
Nice.
Absolutely.
And
Love
I'm
it.
66 years old. I guess people.
You do not look 66 either.
No.
I have a heavy filter on right now.
Yeah, that's good.
I want to get one of
Beauty
those.
Always
filters.
good at figuring the filters.
There's a moneymaker, right?
Yeah. All right, Mrs. Paula, you.
Well, thank you. Sorry, as soon as we got live, my allergies started acting up. I am Paula at Mrs. Paula Does Retirement. And first, I want to give a shout out to my girl, Zozo Cat. Zozo Cat. And Peter Urbanowski's back with us today.
Hi,
Zozo
Hey,
Cat.
Peter.
Everybody say hi to
Hey,
Zoe.
Zozo Cat.
And Peter, nice to have you. I am a very recently retired elementary school counselor, and I turned 60 in October. And I like to do little comedy shorts and decluttering at my house and just pretty much whatever pops into my mind. Today, my short was about a train show we went to yesterday, so you never know. And I love to do lives with my friends and hang out with you fine people.
I know, we've literally just been here like 4 hours ago, it feels like.
Yeah, it was.
Yes,
Maybe
true.
6.
Nice. Brenda.
Hi, I'm Brenda at Busy After 60, and I started my channel on November 15th, so it's been just about 6 months, and I don't have a niche. And at first I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I don't have a niche. But I guess my niche is just I'm busy, I'm 60, and this is what I do. I'm still working full-time as a school speech pathologist, and in my free time, we take road trips. My husband and I take road trips. I just do a lot of different things. I've done videos about just going to coffee shops. I've done some videos with things that I think about, but it's not all, I had like my reverse bucket list video where I actually sat and talked. I'm a little jealous about how Phil can just do that so easily, just sit with a topic and just talk about it. I really want to be able to do that more. But so I just have, it's kind of a vlog style sometimes and kind of an informational. I don't know. It's just what I do in my free time. I film it and it seems to be working. I had a couple videos go really well. I had one that was the renovation we did on a vintage camper, and that's got almost 60,000 views. And I did one on decluttering my parents' home, and that's got about 35,000 views. I've got my watch hours for YouTube, but I don't have my subscribers yet, but I'm inching. I'm 914 today.
Ooh,
so it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like those 2 videos, random, out of the blue, they talk to somebody. So, but most of mine, they get under 100 or whatever, and that's fine. And I don't expect to become crazy numbers very fast, but I'm just having fun with it. I don't have a niche, and I'm not going to follow the gurus that say you should, because I just don't know. I can't talk about one thing every video. I can't just talk about one topic and have a really, what do they call it, niche down thing. So I just video my life, I guess.
You did good.
It's working
so far.
My name is Susan. I'm a school nurse, and I plan to retire in 4 years at 65. I wanted to do it at 62, but I can't yet. I got to pay some stuff off. I started my channel. It was 60 Insane. I was in a little bit of lull. I lost a best friend and kind of lost my way. And I started my channel for self-betterment and mental health. Being a nurse for almost 40 years, dealing with different things. And I just felt like I wanted to do something that makes me show up for myself to get better. There's so many things that I need to do better. And YouTube has helped me to be kind of narrow-minded into doing, golly, how do I say this? Keeping focused and doing things and getting out there, sharing stories. I try to do a little bit of feel-good stuff. Always try to keep it on a positive. And then I discovered watercolors and art, and I just fell in love with it. And I decided to change my channel name to Artfully Becoming because I want to do the art stuff and just share my journey with learning and doing art stuff. I also do videos with my German Shepherd and my Yorkie. I do some shorts with them, and I really enjoy my pets. And it's kind of a little vloggy sometimes, but I just want to get out there and, even if I can somehow help one person to follow their dreams and to, just try to better themselves and to think on a more positive wave, then I've done my job, even if it helps one. So that's basically why I'm here, mostly for me, but I'm bringing it out there.
I'm going to run and get a cough drop. I'll be right back.
Okay.
We'll all carry on.
And you had a mini tornado at your house last night, Susan.
Yes, and it totally took our wire down. I thought lightning hit the pool, but it was from the tree breaking in half and hitting that power line and a big white flash. And we were out of lights. Our whole block was out of lights for like 3 hours. So,
And you're in
Like a
South
trooper.
Carolina?
South Carolina, yeah.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
And we were on a live. She jumped on a live with no
I thought, what the
power in
heck?
the
I'll
house.
just use my phone and get on the
Everything was all
live.
hooked into the laptop. Yeah.
Yeah, candles and
And
my
hubby was
ring
coming
light
in
plugged into
going,
my computer.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
worked. Thank
Yeah.
God it had a full battery. Yeah.
Absolutely. So impressed. And my name is Karen, and my channel is YouTube Over 40. And I basically just encourage people, like we all do, really, just that if people want to start a YouTube channel, just to get going, because why not, right? Like we've only got the one life. And we'll touch a little bit more on that with Phil today, with his experiences. But definitely all of that health stuff is very topical at the moment, like with Imi, do you know? I know you won't know Number One Ladies Club, Phil. You're allowed to not know Imogen from Number One Ladies Club, but she's going to do quite a lot, like a series on heart attacks. And so it's very, very topical at our age group. But so Phil, how's it going?
Well,
How's life?
Well, it's exciting, and it's one day at a time. And this is, for the record, the first. I've actually made some unbelievable connections already. Certainly since I started the channel in October. I think it was October 17th. And this is the first invitation, which I think it came through Susan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she just reached out and she expressed shock that I would even respond.
Yeah,
it's
I was like,
why
oh my
not?
God.
Why not? I mean,
Good on you.
guys
Good
are,
for you.
you guys are my look. Nothing has. I'm still the guy that I was 15 days ago, and I was. I just try to be the same guy. I haven't found my channel's real niche yet. I don't think. I've had a viral video. That's the only difference between me and you. That's it. And anyone else that might be looking in here. And there is a camaraderie again with new YouTubers, because we're in this really there's lots of information out there, lots of advisement, lots of good stuff, but it seems like each person's path is very individualistic, even though there's some commonality to it. So
Exactly.
good,
So
Yeah,
you,
I mean, things.
yeah, go ahead.
Susan.
Oh,
No,
I
you
was
go.
gonna ask you, how long ago did you retire?
Okay, I just saw a comment this morning because this is a soon. It's coming soon, meaning it's going to be within the next 2 to 3 videos. This definition of retirement, because I'll tell you what. Now I love the comments I'm seeing out there, particularly on Jack Morgan's channel, who reviewed this video I made about working at Home Depot. But
Interesting.
somebody today in, I think it was my comment, whatever, he called it, oh gosh, see, I had to write it. Oh, it's right here. I'm going to say, I need to write this down or else I'll never remember all this. He said he started retiring. He's 77
that's a
years
good
old
idea.
now. It's Robert's active retirement. I need to check into him more. 77 years old. He started retiring in late 50s. And I thought that resonated with me. I started retiring, a few years ago, and knowing that my retirement is going to have to be supplemented, whether that be working a traditional job or I'm very entrepreneurial. And this is one reason why I've ended up with the goal. The plan I talk about is having a successful YouTube channel, which includes a monetization schedule, but does not mean it's successful.
Right.
I think more successful is if you connect. So I guess officially the way I look at it is when I left my last corporate job and I knew I'm done. That was about 6 years ago, 5 years ago. And then after a few months, I said, my neighbor was working at Home Depot. And so I took this part-time job there while I worked on building something else, YouTube being one of those something else.
Good.
All right. So you actually started your channel, didn't you, 6 years ago? Was that your first video?
I started the idea in 1997 or 8. I think I tried to find the early, matter of fact, I'm just looking over here. I bought at the time this camera, the T2i Canon. I love this camera. Hardly ever used it, but the tech learning curve to do this and all the settings and get perfect everything, to then getting it on the computer, to then finding an editing software. I mean, it was mind blowing. And I quit after about 1 week and 1 day of attempting to see this. If I could find this footage, it'd be hilarious. I'm sitting in a hallway, bad lighting, terrible audio, and I'm trying to talk about whatever it was. So I started then, but then let's get real here. I started officially hardcore, 5 years ago, right after my heart event. I thought I need to document this for my kids. My channel centers in on, legacy, importance. If nothing else, this is for my grandgirls and Benny boy, Benny, my one grandson. This is for them. It's really not for everyone else that, but if that happens, that's a bonus. So, and then it's about, connecting with the community and talking about retirement without what I call the nest egg, which is a nicer way of saying retiring broke.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not broke. Let's not, but I don't have. And my next video is going to address it because I'm tired of the comments and the criticism about this guy did something wrong, etc.
Yeah.
Really?
But then,
Really?
yeah,
Interesting.
wait till you see. I'm going to use it to motivate me, just like I did with the Maserati video. That there's still people right now. Do you know that think I drive a Maserati? But that was. And if we want to, we can get into a little bit of, because I think you have to be careful with that because people didn't get it because they're not following the story. I assume they were,
and they didn't watch the whole video, and they didn't.
That's number one. Number two, they didn't watch the previous video.
Yep.
Where I discuss this attack, its criticism, which wasn't super bad. I took it with, in stride. So, but to get up to date, I quit then. I didn't stay with it after the heart event. Then I started up again. I have a video out there saying I'm starting for real this time. And then it stopped. And then October, I said, enough is enough. And anyone that knows me, thank goodness you can't have my coworkers on or my family, because they would just roll their eyes and say, tell you how many times they told me, knock off talking about starting and get the darn thing done. Just do it.
Just hit record.
And I just, I have found other things to do. And then I did though in October, and I committed to one video a month. I didn't care what happened. And that's where the official start was. And this has been part of my retirement since that
Good.
quitting corporate.
Awesome.
Yeah, because I was watching your I'm nearly about to quit. You know, I'm thinking about quitting video, right? So that was only must have been like a month ago, was it? It was only
Yeah.
must have only been a couple of videos before your big one.
I knew I wasn't going to quit, but I certainly
Of course,
thought, look, man, I
yeah.
only have so much energy, so much time.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste the time, because who knows how much time any of us have
That's
left.
right. We don't know.
But it was at that time I who was it here on this that talked about someone that's, I think it might be Susan, about, you know, just in terms of those subscribers growing. You know, you got to get to 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours. I was at 499, excited, and I was going to celebrate with my first live stream.
Yeah.
Because I was going to reward myself. Well, live streaming, I think, is my next endeavor of what I'm going to pursue on my channel. And I know YouTube likes that, and I just think it'd be a great way to interact with people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I dropped from 499 to 490 something to 486 rather quickly, and I thought, I jokingly say in that video, maybe I should become the expert in how to lose subscribers. I was going
Like
the
a
wrong
pro.
direction.
Like a pro.
Yeah, like a
you
pro.
said. Like a
what I
pro.
said.
I loved that.
Everybody
Literally,
wants
you'll
to be a
think
pro.
everyone wants to be a pro. We're here to be a pro, man. We're sick of all this amateur stuff.
But I knew it only took one. Oh, and the co-host, of course, she's here. She always interrupts if she has the opportunity. But
Oh, lovely.
that's when I did the Home Depot, because I thought, I'm going to, this is baby girl or sweetie or get off the table.
Yeah. But do you say get off the table like in a mean way, or do you say get off the table?
No,
It's like get off the table.
the younger friends have called it the dad voice. Don't talk to, you know, there's the dad voice, or the 8th grade teacher voice, where you can't go over and physically grab the kid, but you can point the finger even, or maybe two, and just say, knock it off.
Yeah, kind of like our parents when they say Philip, and you know, like they use your full name. Do you know what? They use that like a weapon, right? Like, you know, your name gets shortened and it's all friendly.
First and middle name,
then they punish you with your full real name, and they wonder why you don't like your full real name sometimes, you know.
Yes. That is so true. So true. Well, I'm poised at 499, hoping for that 500, but I'm afraid to do any kind of celebration until I get like to 515, because you never know. I could look 2 minutes later and I'm not at 500 anymore. So,
but according to YouTube, you are, because at 500 is that first, I think, benchmark where you can now receive little promotional things, which I find annoying during the lives, although they're nice. The super chats, super thanks, things like that. Very cool. I like it. I mean, that's great. But it's just that first step towards success.
Right.
And you could drop, once you hit it, you qualify. So once you hit 1,000, 4,000, you are now monetized. And if you were to drop back down, I do not believe you lose the monetization. So you need to celebrate it. And you will. I better make sure I've subscribed to you. I could be your 500th. I think I did.
Maybe. Zoe,
that would be fun.
Zoe wants me to read something. Phil, Zoe is one of my former students, and she is a 6th grader, and she wants me to tell you all, you shouldn't give up. You shouldn't give up. Keep on working on your dreams.
That is great.
Yeah. You know, I knew when I was dropping off, I didn't care, because I'm doing this again. See, my why is solid in terms of this is for legacy documentation.
That's really what mine is too now. I've kind of figured that out. So I show things I like to do, which will show the future generations what I like to do. So
yeah. And then the viral video hit, totally unexpected, of course. They always say it is. It's not the one you think it was. And I didn't feel like doing it that morning. It was a spur of the moment decision to drive over to the Home Depot, park out there and just talk.
Chat in the
That's
car.
probably why it went so great. You weren't expecting it.
Maybe.
My first one that went with the decluttering, I was just at my parents' house and I walked through it and went, oh my God, I'm going to have to deal with all this. And I just sat down and said, don't leave this to your kids. And everybody clicked on it.
See,
And you know
that one
what?
is.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, Phil. You go.
No, that's I think I saw that one, and if you've seen my videos on the room, it's right on the other side of this wall. It still looks, it's even worse now. And I did y'all
We
somebody
always have that
comment,
one room that we.
I
put
saw that
I've
one.
seen the room.
into.
I've seen the room. Yeah, I saw you come and take a box. Actually, you pulled lots of special things out of the box, of
Yep.
course, and
Yeah.
Yep.
your favorite memento from your childhood.
That is
And
cool.
don't fool with the cool poster. Yeah, certain things.
Yeah, that was given
Hey,
to me
and-
by a student.
Oh, wow.
That is
That's
great.
a treasure.
And the
It
funny
is.
thing about Brenda's video is that she had like 35,000 people like, yeah, we hear you, sis, we're relating. And some people said, don't be so ungrateful. Your parents worked hard to buy you all that stuff.
Yeah, you get both. I really couldn't believe the negative comments. And then one person,
True.
they were saying, yeah, your parents did all this for you. Why are you
Yeah.
complaining? And I wasn't complaining. I was stating a fact.
It
Wow,
was
this
an
is
oh
how
my
they
gosh
feel.
moment, is what
And
it
it
was.
was really, it was really to try to
Profound.
get people to think about their own house and say, do I want to do this to my family? Do I want to leave this mess? Could I start? And I get it. And then people are like, well, some people are not capable of it. And I get that. I wasn't trying to, like, I don't know. People are people. And
Yeah.
I know how to
Overall,
hide
they're all
comments
good.
now, thanks to Karen. So I hide
Yep.
those comments and I move on.
I've heard that hiding them is better than blocking
Yes.
because
Yes.
do you agree? Do you find
Yes.
is that true?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just
good.
removed
just-
them
yeah,
from
I've
the
just been-
chat or
Yeah,
from
I
the
think I
comments.
just removed them. I don't even think I see them come up easily like as
When you
blocks. I'll
hide
just go,
them, they don't know you hid them. But if you
Mm.
block them, I think they find out that you blocked them. I don't know
Yeah.
that matters. But
Well, it
this
does
way I'm
because
like,
they think they're still contributing.
Yeah.
and they're
yeah,
not.
yeah. So just let them think that they're coming through. If they make another negative comment, it just goes through on their end, but it doesn't show up. So I like to hide them instead.
Yeah, I had to block one because he was really pretty aggressive. So I
Mm.
got rid of him. But everybody else I just remove.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
yeah, so I was thinking
Peter,
what
Go ahead, Karen.
Go, Paula. No, you go.
I was just going to say, Peter is commenting that as a small YouTuber, the best thing he's found is the amazing community support with small channels. It's an extended family, and I totally agree.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree,
Yeah.
Peter.
It's kind of what
Yeah,
keeps
that's-
you going because you all encourage each other. And if not, we would just be sitting in our rooms alone, putting a YouTube video out there and then doing another one maybe, but then you kind of maybe lose your motivation. But little
Yes.
groups like this kind of keep you going.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Karen, what were you going to say before I interrupted?
Oh, I was just going to say, was it Zoe or was it Zozo who was saying before about just keep going and
That was
Oh,
Zozo.
Zoe.
Zozo
Yeah,
Cat.
Zozo. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I just even think like Phil thinking about your video where you were just saying, well, the subscribers are up, and they're like, a couple of steps forward, a step back, and all of that. I mean, that's really encouraging for all of us that, then you had one that really, really resonated. And I know that you made a really good video about that, but can you just talk to us a little bit now? Because obviously you must keep on having some reflections about it, and people are making different kinds of comments. And I don't even know how you actually, you can't even keep up with your comments now, actually, can
No.
you? Like literally,
No.
right?
Right.
But so why do you think that resonated with so many
I-
people? Like, what is
well-
it, 242,000 or something, is it at the moment?
Not
Views?
to correct you,
245?
but it's now
245?
277. I checked just
Oh,
before
wow.
we came on.
Oh, that was the number when I saw it. Wowee. It's really
Typical
exploding.
viral video YouTube.
Runaway train.
Let me just mention that's 277,000.
Wow. Yeah. Did I mention the two? Yeah. Wow. So tell us
That's
about
more
that.
than fits into a stadium, right?
Yeah, think of it as a town.
Okay.
Of
Yeah,
So that
that's
was
more than
scary.
Taylor Swift can fit into Madison Square Gardens, right?
A number of them. My gosh. But why or whatever, yeah, there's been over 2,000 comments on that video. And what happened, and I just found this out the other day, you people out there that one has now led to them viewing others, and those others that
Of
only had
course.
maybe
Yeah.
under 100 or just over 100 now have 1,000.
Yeah.
And they made comments, and I didn't, you don't get notified of all those. And I just found comments that were made up, days ago, weeks ago. And so I had this, like, I just thought, people are going to hate me because I'm not replying. I feel that's important if they took the time to do. So I try to at least heart things, but I have something going forward that I might be able to do. And yeah, it's the reality. You just can't keep up. I watch other YouTubers and I look, how did they do it? Sometimes they're only really involved for the first half hour of the post, and then you don't see them again in the comments. And I
True.
think
Yep.
I understand that.
Sure.
But yeah, now, why, well, I'll tell you, here's the deal. This confirmed to me one thing. I knew one thing for sure, and the statistics bear this out, at least in the United States. I think it's 60%. I mean, it's high, of people reaching the retirement age have zero saved.
Yes.
About 80% or more. I mean, I've always heard the thing that 98% of the people retire and they can't just quit everything. They have to continue to supplement if they want to continue to
Right.
live and maintain the standard of living that they have when they go to retire. But I know that I think it's at least 80%. I knew that was my audience I was speaking to. I know you guys out there, and now I think the other audience I'm speaking to is to explain, and this is the one, possibly my next video, to those in their 20s, 30s, 40s even, who feel that, oh my gosh, I'm behind.
Right.
I don't want to end up like this guy.
And when you
But-
talk to them about it, though, they're not concerned. They just
I know.
don't get it.
I know.
They
Neither were we,
will.
though. I
Yeah.
never was
Exactly.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the audience is huge, and I think need to. Now here's what I was going to say. A little thing that I think is important. This might be my number one thing going forward that I need to do to, I think, continue to be successful and become even more successful. And that is this. That video, I didn't get on there and say, I love lists, by the way, and I love doing some educational type videos where I would have said, here are 6 reasons you could end up with no retirement nest egg. And list different things. Well, you took it out too soon. You used it to start a business. These are things that whatever. You were frivolous. You bought a Maserati. You fool.
Because we
Okay.
can see that on the video. We can see that. So it's yours.
What's that?
Oh,
The Maserati.
Yeah.
It must be yours because we see it.
Oh.
That's what people think. Yeah. Not us.
Do you know? No, my car is in that picture. I'm not. It's right next to it.
Absolutely.
The
Absolutely.
20
The old one parked next to it.
Avalon.
Yeah. People loved it. People loved it. You had lots of nice
and-
comments and fun comments on that one.
Yeah, a lot. It was great. And but here's what I did, and here's what I'll do going forward: is storytelling. I think we've all seen it, and that is the secret to going forward. Is I need to tell stories. See, I don't want to get into thing where you need to. I have one, but I have a viral video. You need to tell stories, or you need to give whatever, be the authority, tell people what to do. No, you need to tell stories. So I'm going to tell my situation and maybe what's best to do by telling you what I've done.
That's what you did
happened
with
to
your
me.
health one, with saying I eat this way, I don't do that. And you said there's a lot of ways out. I mean, yeah, the way you did it, you weren't telling people that you should do it my way. I like how you did that with just letting everybody know, research, take the way that's best for you, do what's best for you.
Yep. That's right.
I liked when you said, what is the number one cause of a heart attack? And I'm sitting there thinking, number one, what was it? Go ahead.
It's what is the first sign you have heart disease?
Yes.
Sudden death.
And that was like, it makes you like,
50%.
crap. Oh my God. Even as a nurse, I'm like thinking, well, weak legs and high blood pressure. And it's like,
you had too much insight information. You were thinking medically. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was a really good way to do it. And if your stories are like that, I think you're going to get a lot of people enjoying them because you're not preaching to them. You're not telling them what they should do, but showing options.
Right.
Yeah. And okay, now here's something else that, in terms of if there's any wisdom I have, it's this. I realize how much of what I once thought about as 100% certainty was anything but that. So I can
Exactly.
go back into each decade and say, this is the
Mhm.
way I thought, my opinion on this back then. And today, 180 degrees.
Yeah.
I was
Exactly.
wrong. I didn't have the whole picture of things. So that's why diet wise is, I'm not going to say do this or that, but do pay attention, do your research.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and the other thing I was thinking too, two things actually. One of them is on the whole finances thing. I think the whole very nature of being on YouTube, and the reason why people will connect, with us will be because like they can relate to things that we're saying. So Phil, for you to be talking about finances and like, well, I made this decision, and so, if I had my time again, I would have done this differently and that differently. Of course, that's going to attract, trolls and people just being rubbish in the comments, right? The whole very nature of YouTube. But like the majority of people, it's like, well, actually, this is a story that I can relate to. This is a real person I can relate to. But as you say, that's why you get some garbage comments about, well, you shouldn't have eaten that, or you shouldn't have spent your money on that. It's like, well, actually, everyone's doing stuff with their money. Everyone's doing stuff with their diet. It's like, well,
Even I eat the wrong things and know better. And
Exactly.
it's like,
Yeah.
Yes.
and I pray that, it doesn't take, and it could happen to me. Like, anybody could fall dead and be revived and think I should have listened to what I should have done. But,
Yeah.
we were talking last night, we're the boomers. So we're the biggest population right now in the United States. So, in 20 years, the nursing homes, the hospitals are going to be overwhelmed with us. And, now is the time to, hey, you got to do this. You got to do something, otherwise it's definitely going to affect the financial,
Oh
the
yeah. I mean,
whole financial thing, of the United States when the boomers finally,
I think
get
Karen,
up
aren't you
to their 80s
technically
and
Gen
90s.
X, Karen?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
54,
Yeah.
55
I'm on
this
the.
year.
I'm only like 1 month away
But
from
same,
being a Gen
but
X.
the same thing, the same
Yeah.
thing. Like all of
Yep.
us were problems for the
You're getting a
government.
little jump start on it. We're already over the hump of boomer.
I'm
So,
a young boomer. I'll put it that way.
yes,
I
you
was at the
are.
end of I was at the end of the boom.
I was at the very end, 1 month, 1 month away from Gen
wow,
X.
yeah.
The end of November.
I want to know how the guy that came to Home Depot, tell us about that story that about him that you had in a post.
Well, there's been two that I've met, and then there's been, I think, two others. People when I come into work, I work the close. I'm a closer, and they tell me, "Hey, someone came in today and saw your video and asked if you were here."
Now they're looking
Now,
for you. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Susan, don't let me forget. I think I called you Karen earlier, but yeah, I can get away with that because I'm old. You know
I'm
when you're
here too,
older.
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, when you're older, I can get away with comments to customers, and because they'll look at me like, did he just really say that? And they'll see me and they'll start laughing because he's just an old guy. He's losing his mind, whatever. But Susan, don't let me forget to address that story specifically. And right now I'm having one of those. Where was I going with that? Well, here's the story.
The people hunting you down at Home Depot.
Yeah. Oh, it has been. I want to do a shout out to the, as I called them the other day, the Xers, the Yers, and the outliers, or whoever. All these people, they were the ones by far. When I said I'm going to do a YouTube channel, their responses were over the top. Whoa, yeah, you could do, Phil, that would be so cool. I would watch that. Blah, blah, blah. Almost without exception, although there were a few boomers, if I said these old crotchety guys, which by the way, 83 to 4% of my channel are men.
That's
How much?
awesome.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I thought it would
83.
be, yes, are men, which
That's
is cool.
nice.
So I'm risking, I think, because you all have more female-oriented audiences, I assume. I'm risking that, maybe people want to go over and criticize me,
You're
whatever.
risking getting some
But
fan mail from some women.
yeah, haven't got any of that.
Oh,
But,
what a problem! What a
but,
problem to have.
but
Right.
no,
Hey, make sure to put your mailbox in your description after this, in your about.
let
If
me
you
write
haven't
that one
yet.
down. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll put that all over his. No.
You know,
But the boomers are just these guys going. They look at me like no response, or like,
I know. Why haven't you given up yet, Phil?
What are you gonna talk about? What do you
Yeah.
bring to? It's like,
Yeah.
man,
Who do you think
you
you
know,
are?
yeah. I mean, like, who's gonna listen to you? Well, I'll tell you who isn't gonna listen. People like
Right.
you.
Exactly. The
right.
naysayers.
I'll try to be quick and brief. I'll tell you the last story with the picture you saw, I think.
Yes.
I've worked service desk for 3.5 years, but now I'm at as a head over the cashiering area. And I'm standing there helping out. And I see this guy out of the corner of my eye standing behind over by where our little whatever cutout is, away from the registers kind of thing. And he's just standing there. And I think, oh, he must be waiting for an order. And he continues standing. So finally, I turn around and I say, have you been helped, or can I help you? And one of my coworkers says, oh, he's waiting to talk to you. And I went, oh, I thought, okay, I'm sure, I have a lot of people I've gotten to know over the years.
Yeah.
They want to talk.
And
They
he
want to
doesn't
talk
want
to me.
roofing iron. Yeah.
Like I'm going to be able to do something for him. And I would try. But I said, and then I think my coworker said something about, hey, he saw your channel. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So I finished up and went to talk to him. Actually, it got real busy, but he waited. And so that I said, let's go out to the parking lot and get a picture of the Home Depot thing. And we talked briefly. I hope to maybe he's a potential guest to tell his story. It's way different than mine, but it's really a good contrast story of what happened to him and how he did it. And he's my age. I think we are within a month of each other as far as born in 58 and that kind of thing. So that's simply that. And it was a very, very positive, nice.
You inspired him. I mean, he came to see you.
Yeah,
That's
there you go. I could be the disappointing YouTuber because look, man, I'm not. I think that's true. Yeah. The conception. Okay. Oh, you got to edit that out. The perception.
Perception.
Hey.
Hey, we all have brain farts here and there.
Oh my gosh! But the perception of these things can be so off, particularly when you get judgment like Brenda, you did about they misunderstand, they perceive it entirely different than what you meant it. And I have a lot of good stories. Now, I'm sorry, this prompts another idea. I've thought about starting another channel.
Wow.
And it would no, I'm not going to do that. I thought this would be hilarious.
You never know.
Bill, okay, I've got it. I've got the name. I've got the channel name. Okay. You ready?
Well, yeah.
Bill Unfiltered.
Oh, I love it.
Just saying.
Unfiltered with FIL big and then.
Wow, Karen.
Karen, you're brilliant.
That's a mum joke for you. That's a mum joke.
Quick, write it down. You'll forget.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Oh my gosh, no, that is. You know what? If I do ever do, I can't understand.
Hey, that could be a third one. Start with your second one first. That could be a third.
Well, this one is.
Hey, when you get really mad and you just get like super famous and you're like, you know what? I can do an unfiltered one.
I'll go over to my other channel so you'll know
just
what
coming,
I really feel about all this.
I don't give a shit.
This channel's about what I really wanted to say.
What I really think. The
But
first one was about what I think. The second one was what I really think. The third one was what I really, with a capital R, think.
So the second one would be collecting all these comments, of which there are hundreds, slamming me doing this, and it would be called "Shut Up, Boomer."
Right?
I love it. You know what I'm foreseeing? you know how people take bus tours around the country and get off and look at various attractions? I'm foreseeing
Yes.
a big green coach or some Americana bus pulling up at Home Depot and everybody getting out to see Phil. He
No,
will be an attraction.
no, because that's almost that's a level of narcissism. Look, I realize this is, you know, I had people after during right when that video was just starting to take off said, Phil, don't change. You know, you got to listen to your audience.
That's
These
right.
are my real audience. Phil, don't change. We're following you because you're you. You start acting like that perceived fake famous YouTuber, they're out of here. And I told them, if you think I'm going that route or acting, let me know. Call me out and let me explain. Or I might have to say, you're right. You know, here's something I'm about. This reminds me of what do we call these titles that are clickbait?
Oh yeah.
I've done a little bit of
Oh
that.
yeah, we've never done any of that.
I have.
But I felt like wrong. I didn't feel good about it, and I think I changed one of them because, you know, that's what everyone does. I can't stand people that I followed using that, and it depends. There's levels of clickbait.
And you're waiting
but
and waiting and waiting for them to drop what they said they were going to do.
I'm going to unsubscribe. I don't have time for that stuff. So, but I will say, I think there's I'll call it an intelligent level of clickbait. And let me give you an example. My Maserati. I put some real hidden stuff into that because I got immediately called out. This is a perfect example of clickbait. And I replied to that and I said, nah, I said, I know what you're saying, but I said, if you know the backstory, this is the perfect title.
Yeah.
And then I realized, guys, we can't, or gals, most of our viewers, and matter of fact, I'm running at 90-some%, don't subscribe to me, have probably not seen at whenever that's the first video they've seen of me. They have no idea what I'm referencing, what's going on. They think, those are the people that think, there it is. At least the guy's honest. He blew his retirement on a $150,000 Maserati.
Yeah.
But that clickbait thing that was the metaphor for what I had been reading for about a week about what a loser I must be. I must have made some bad decisions. He used to be a teacher. What happened there?
How do you afford that?
Don't they have pensions? What happened to his pension? This guy has clearly made some bad decisions, wrong decisions in his life. Look at this, look at that. This guy just spends. That's my next video coming up.
Yeah.
But I'm going to address it positively and with some humor, I think, hopefully, and with some enthusiasm. But here was the point. So I took what their story was about me, and I created a story that they see me as. I must have blown it on a vehicle because look at that leather-seated car he's staying in or sitting in. Clearly a Range Rover with the sunroof. Clearly lives in California. Sorry, you know, I couldn't believe they shot down Californians on that. So I found this car, I just out of the blue. And so the Maserati is the metaphor for, look how frivolous I am. I drive. You exposed me. That's what that whole thing was about. But if you know the backstory, oh, I see what you're doing there. I made a post saying I was out recording my next video about everyone commenting on this vehicle I was in. So I decided that's going to be my next video. I'm going to talk about this video or this car. But I'm going to talk about it like they think about it, which is it's a very ritzy, nice car.
Yeah.
It's a nice car, but
the people who make those kind of comments cannot figure that out. They're not the type that would figure that out.
In that picture,
It takes a little bit of like clever sense of humor and intelligence and things.
They don't get that aha moment.
Well, somebody called it a Range Rover. Well, somebody said it must be a Range Rover. So I found a Range Rover and I went like this. I'm actually pointing at my car one row over in the parking lot. And there was a I think pretty sure he's a subscriber. He says, Phil, I see what you did there. And I thought it was an Avalon.
So did you say that 99% of your viewers haven't subbed? Did you what number
Well,
did you say? Not
oh,
99.
I
No.
I looked this up. No, it's in no, I think it's probably, oh yeah, it's high 90%. Yeah, I think 3% of my viewers are subscribers.
Oh
Three.
God, did you know what? And that's because of your 270, that's why that skewed that
Yeah.
number as well,
Yeah,
right?
that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of love, but you could do with a little bit more love from those people.
Exactly. Even
But hey, but they obviously
yeah.
are looking at all your other videos too, right? A lot
That
of
what?
people are. A lot of people are looking at all of your other videos.
Yeah,
You
there's
know,
been
a
an
lot of new
overspill that's
subs.
very positive. And by the way, let's get this out. People think I'm rich now. I have started to get
Yeah,
paid.
I
You
was
don't get
saving that question. I was going
okay,
to
okay.
ask you, have you had your $3.11 yet or something that's supposed to be the first payment or something?
Right. Well, I don't know. Like I'm approaching $100,
nice.
which
That
when
pays
I
a
start,
bill.
I think the first question, Karen, I think you were asking me,
Awesome.
somebody asked me, what are my plans with this? But my plan was to supplement I only need, with my lifestyle and where I'm at, I was hoping for a few hundred extra per month with my Social Security and possibly living in another country, seriously,
Yeah.
and
I'd be able
living
to live there
simple.
cheaper.
Yeah, but I have those grandkids, and that's comes into play. But then I start seeing these new YouTubers, these older. You guys have mentioned them. What are some of the guys?
Rob the
Uh,
Maritimer.
I'm a subscriber. Been watching him for over a year.
Buzz. Do you watch
Buzz
Buzz?
Retirement Garage.
I like
Hey,
Buzz.
And Mike, what's his name? Old Mike.
Mhm.
I
Old
don't.
Mike
Yeah,
living
old
better.
Mike. He's like 83 years old.
Yeah.
I think I just
Yeah.
watched one of his.
Here,
So yeah, these people, and then they share. Oh my gosh, they got $1,000. They got $1,500, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's good enough for me because I will. You won't see me, and I make a joke about, hey, if this keeps going, maybe I'll go out and buy a Maserati.
A little Matchbox
hey,
Maserati.
if you get up there, why
Hey,
not?
yes, I will do it.
You all, we
So-
have a
I
question.
don't have a payment. I pay cash.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
have
well,
a question from Jennifer Introver in Alaska. She wants to know how we feel about asking people to subscribe. And I know that's
Oh.
something Imaging at Number One Ladies Club has been talking about. Phil, you take that first. How do you feel about asking people to subscribe in your videos?
Well, listen to this. I thought it was a badge of honor. I see YouTubers saying this all the time. I've never asked. I just want to let you know I've never asked for anyone to subscribe. And, they felt that was the most noble thing to do, the most down to earth thing to do. And you'll notice I don't really, I say put something at the end, like and subscribe, because one of my favorite YouTube channels, it might be my favorite or has been, is called Life Uncontained. And it's a couple. And it's their journey. You just got to check them out, man. They're so inspiring. But that's all they do. But 1 week or so before the viral video, now I hesitate to say this because every one of us are going to say, ooh, I'm going to ask them to subscribe, because I put a little cutaway in there because I had heard from somebody that they thought it was the weirdest thing. I read it in a comment that if you ask for subscribers, it's like the algorithm picks it up and they push it out because they want
Wow.
And so in that viral video, I have a cutout that says, hey guys, I'm sitting here editing. And I just like, if you're, whatever, subscribe if this resonates with you, whatever. I said that. And I said,
Love
nope.
it.
And then I went
I
right back to the
noticed
video.
that was a real what do you call it, like a real pattern interrupt as well, because you know how you can
Yes.
sort of get a bit hypnotized and you're just you're in the zone and you're doing your thing and you're watching or whatever. I saw you go, hey guys, I'm just editing this video, if you're liking this, blah blah blah, and it really made me pay attention. And I thought, okay, so here's the story, but then you're coming back, like it really was quite effective.
Yeah, I did it again in this most recent one, and I think it might be okay. So in the newest one, I did it. I see. Here's the thing. I know most of the people. Hey, not to be full of what I do, but some of my best lines and my best ideas come at the end of my video, and nobody's watching.
Same for me.
So I'm going to break in. I think within the first 4 or 5 minutes, if possible, 6 minutes, and just do that. And let them know, man. And so this last time I wanted people to know that I'm going to do a legacy activity and go into my old school teacher days. And I just wanted them to know to sign up if they would, and then I go back to my video because I just know they were not going to hear about that if they don't wait. That, by the way, wasn't a reason for that video, but it was something
No.
that is a request if they're interested.
Yeah.
That's a really
Just
good
happened
approach.
to be in
And
that
I like
video.
how you
So-
broke
Yeah.
it into like your editing. Hey, one more
Yep,
thing I
that's a
forgot
good
to
approach.
tell you, and then back to the video. I think
Yeah.
that's a great way of doing that. Plus, you're getting
Well,
an
I've seen-
email list for
I've
later.
seen people do it. Yeah, I've seen
So.
people do it. It's like it's easy, and
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah,
asked
so-
yet
so-
because I just am like, I don't know how to work it in where it doesn't look, I don't know. I just
I
haven't
know.
yet.
I don't ask either. I don't.
I think I'm going to start asking, just not begging. No, actually, if
No,
you get to know
it's
a
a good
person's
idea.
personality, I
I've
might
been
do some
thinking.
begging.
Yeah. I'm not above begging. I might start begging.
I'm going to try to work it into a video in the near future and
Listen,
see how it feels. I
listen.
think I need to try that.
I can hear it coming now. Listen, guys, 90% of you don't subscribe. Please, would you subscribe? I put a down payment on a Maserati.
All right.
We'll probably get 100 new subscribers. You never
I
know.
love it.
I was going to
No.
say earlier, even Think Media, Sean Cannell, and he also, I watch Omar, who was with him before. Yes, I love his podcast.
Me
And
too.
he says the same thing. 90% of our viewers are not subscribed, but they're putting out quality stuff. People just click on it and watch it. I also watch I love true crime. So I watch a lot of live. And what was I going to say about this? Daggone it.
I can relate.
Yes,
Golly,
exactly.
I
There
just
goes the
had it on
chicken.
my-
We're all relating.
But yeah,
What's really bad is we've all finished that thought in our own mind. So don't worry about it.
yeah. So like you all heard that, right? Okay.
We have.
So anyways, I can move on. But yeah, they say, 90% of these people, 90% of you aren't subscribed. So, but I think what I'm going to do to add to it, like if this resonates with you, if you had this same type
that's a
of
good
thing
one, yeah.
happen or whatever,
Low
hit that
key.
like and subscribe, or just if it does, hit that like. And if you would like to hear more stories about this type of whatever, and but
That's good. I need to reverse a few lines like that. That's a good
I think
idea.
I might have, and I think I've got probably 40 videos. I've probably only asked twice in those.
Hey, one other technique I kind of like. This is from Live Video School. I like those guys.
Father and son.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not. Well, I like them. I watch their stuff, although it's getting repetitive to me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I know.
what they do,
I now know.
they
As soon
always
as you
say-
said, I wrote them down. As soon as you said they're getting repetitive, and I'm
Father
like,
and
oh, I know
son,
the guys
right?
you're talking about.
Yeah.
yeah. But I love the fact they're always saying, "Hey, if you've got, put in the comments." And I did this in my last video.
Yeah.
I said, "Put in the comments if you've saved a voicemail." Then you could say, "And don't forget to subscribe, man. Or let's connect and be part of the community." And that's it. But I did have a number of people so far say it may. As a matter of fact, there's a really great subscriber of you guys. She's in California. She said she was going to try. to check in here.
Tracy, Life in
Yeah.
the Wild West.
She's great.
Yeah.
She said, "Oh my
I love
God,"
her.
she left a fantastic comment about
Oh,
how
she
she
does.
recorded her grandparents and stuff, and yeah, that she keeps everything, and yeah, so that's great interaction, great connection. I like that. That's what
Yeah.
I think my channel. I want it to be about.
Yeah, and she mentioned you on one of her videos. I think it was probably 2 or 3 videos ago. She mentioned you on there as well.
Well, I was interested to meet Motorcycle Man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Rich.
Did you see
And
their
I did.
getaway video?
Yes,
Their
yeah, that's right.
anniversary
He's-
video.
He's the kind of guy that'd be fun to hang out with.
Yes,
Just even
I
as a guy.
love her. She's so genuine and authentic.
She's a
And
lovely person.
Emmy from the #1 Ladies Club. Those two are like this. And I adore Tracy, and she is so wholesome. Like she's just
Yeah,
she is the whole picture. And she should
Yes.
I just pictured her being she just hit 1,000, and she's more than that now. But I was like, no way, she should be like 10,000.
Yeah.
I know.
B-roll and videos are
So-
wonderful.
So let me throw this in there because I know I said this on, I'm trying to remember which channel I said this on. I don't know. All of you, I can say this without reservation, and Tracy included, and so many more. On that video where I said I felt like I didn't deserve it, because I watch you guys and I think just what you were saying, Susan. They're better than me. Why have they not had that viral video, that video that puts them over the top, that launches them? Guys, I just think it's there. Who knows? There's no answer to that. But
And they tell you don't compare yourself with others.
No, I know. Yours is coming. I have no doubt. But just continue to tell your story. Be authentic.
Yeah.
And it is going to happen. I look at these and I think, wow, which one? And my question is, which one will it be?
Oh, maybe we should start a little pool.
Yeah.
But do you know what though? That is why I think, Phil, like when I think about you doing your viral video, and I think that like people really picked up that because you were a little bit, I mean, wary isn't quite the right word, but you were just, it was very real. You know what I mean? It was a bit raw as well, because you said, you know, like I've been very cautious about telling people the shame, like you really said that stuff. So that was just, people saw that, people can see that, you know, like that
happened with Tracy too. She did that one video where she sat under the tree and she was just like sharing. And that was like one of her better.
Yeah. It's just like sitting with that person and just having a conversation with them, and
they can relate to you, and you're not like flashy
with that,
doing fake things. You know, people like other people that are similar, and
but it's not contrived, you know, it's not the person on LinkedIn like crying with their red eyes and they're on the floor and everything. Like, what are they doing? What are they doing? That's freaking LinkedIn, man. You know, like it's not your personal Facebook. Like that's really something, isn't it? Like, I don't know, it's just a whole thing, like people really spilling their guts on LinkedIn of all places. I don't know. I just think COVID did some really. Have we even recovered from the whole COVID thing? You know, like I've seen.
I think there's a new strain in New York. I read last night.
There is up here. Yeah, the kids are getting it.
So I just sort of mean like psychologically, like back on the normal wagon kind of thing, you know, like people people were kinder, but then did they get a little bit mean? Then they stayed at home and we worked from home, and then we're less tolerant of people, and are we then more keyboard warriors? Do you know what I mean? I think I heard someone say the other day that, you know, people haven't really quite recovered from that blow of COVID, you know, and just that big upset.
I feel like, because I'm in high school, and I really feel like it has affected the kids because they were all homeschooling. And after 2 years of doing that, they come back to school. They did not want to come back to school. We have so many attendance problems. It's not even funny.
And there's a different respect level. We noticed in school, the kids didn't respect us the same way. They talked to us like, hey, bro, hey, dude, no, we're your teachers. And they just got really relaxed.
There's so many more homebound cases. I'm seeing a lot of chronic diseases now, and it makes me wonder about, you know, the vaccination, which we won't go into that. That's kind of like on a political thing. But anyways, it's affected the kids, and I just worry, you know, this is our younger generation. These are going to be our leaders soon, you know. So
I think as far as commenting too, they're hiding behind a computer. They wouldn't necessarily say those things face to face.
Right.
Confrontation and the mean comments and stuff. It's just so easy to do it and go to some other video and make another mean comment. And there's no
keyboard feedback. Warrior.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what?
Just like some of our people that comment on our stuff.
I know. Do you know what? Here's my first trolley comment that I got. I must have been doing one of my earnest, you know, nobody's watching your first videos, and that's okay. On a short, it was like clipped from Nexus Opus Clips, and someone puts in the comments, well, that cockatoo hairstyle isn't helping you, is it? And I'm like...
Allison's on. Everybody say hi to Allison.
Hi, Allison.
We love you. We miss you. She says she has FOMO. What is fear of
Fear of missing out.
Missing
fear of
out.
missing
Fear
out.
of missing out.
She's having a FOMO attack. Yeah.
What's the
Oh,
other one? There's
okay.
one that not a fear of missing out. It's something no not I don't know.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
I
Oh,
can't.
yeah. Yeah,
What does it
that's right.
mean?
Like where you
It's
actually want to stay at
no
home,
fear of
hey?
missing out. So
No fear of missing
Yeah.
out. No
Yeah,
like
FOMO,
yeah.
maybe.
FOMO or
Yeah, like when you
something.
choose to stay at home and be by yourself.
Yeah.
And
Valerie said,
Marie
I
is with
stopped.
us. Meditation
Marie,
motivation
yes,
with
she
Marie
was
is
on
on
earlier.
too.
Hi, girly. And living
And
life
Valerie
after
said,
55.
Yeah.
I stopped spilling my guts and lost subscribers.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So, when do you do your first solo live, Phil?
My again, I have
Or your
number one,
plan?
I have learned you have to make a post because then Facebook now, YouTube will push it out and will also notify your subscribers when you do go live. So I've learned.
Wow.
So here's my. I think as long as everything goes okay, and I'm very encouraged by the way this experience just with the technology. You
Yeah.
guys have confirmed to me how I can do this.
You got
Uh,
this.
yeah, and it's going to be either Tuesday night or Thursday night. And the reason
Nice,
I'm doing
nice.
night, I have a poll out there. And that evening, weekday evening,
Oh, yeah, I saw that
has about
poll. Yeah.
50%. Now, I see a lot of people going, "Oh, what if no one shows up?" And I think I'll have a few people show up now, just because of I far surpassed the 500, and someone will show up. Here was my plan. I wanted to do this before it blew up, and here's the thing: I was just going to review comments on my videos and pretend like
Good
everybody
idea.
I'm talking to
that's a good
hundreds of
idea.
people,
Mhm.
because the beauty of the live is who will watch it afterwards.
Mhm.
Right.
So, and that you'll get a lot more people watching it afterwards than you do
I've
during
seen
it. So,
Karen's blow up afterwards. So,
Oh, no, mine
yeah.
haven't.
no,
Mine
you've had a
haven't.
good bit of views on that.
Not really,
I
but
think one of those
Marie,
ones that we
Marie
did.
from meditation,
Yeah.
motivation
Yes.
with Marie, hers, she had one that we did one together, and hers blew up.
Yeah.
She is
Is it
great.
like 800 views or more, or how many now?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's like, I don't know, maybe more than 1,000.
And
How many, Marie?
and how many were on it live? That'd be a
We might have
context
had
there.
3 or 4 of us.
And you have 800 views of it. See, that's
Marie
awesome.
did. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I
Marie
hosted
did.
it, and
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
She also, I'm pretty sure Marie's the one that does this. And correct me, Marie, if I'm wrong, but I think on her recorded videos, she'll put, I'm thinking it's her. It might be another person. But if she has a cat, like you have a cat, Phil, towards the end, say if you've made it this far, put cat in the comments, and then you'll know who's watching till the
Oh,
end.
yeah.
But I thought it was Marie, but it might be an artist that I'm following. All my artists that I follow have a British or New Zealand accent, so it's really funny because they're the real creatives.
Marie said 2,000 views. That's got up to 2,000
Wow.
views.
Wow. Yeah,
Kelly
see,
Tag had 73,000 on one of her videos. She said,
Yes.
meant to tell
and
somebody
see,
that.
and those count toward the watch hours, which is why
Right.
my primary reason I'm going to do this to get more eyeballs and make it,
Right.
make them 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't
You know
done one by
what?
myself yet either. I'm still working up the nerve, and I've got to try to figure out. I don't know what to talk about. If you've got no viewer, maybe 1 or 2, then you can kind of interact back and forth. But if you sit there by yourself for a little while, which I know you do,
Paula does it, and
I know, Paula, you're so
perfectly
good at
well.
it.
Paula, you're on, girl. She's our queen of lives. Like,
Yeah.
tell us about your lives. Like, share.
I am the queen. Now, Susan
She's the
helped
queen,
me
man.
a lot. Susan, do you remember? I think it was my second live. I didn't realize I was supposed to start talking right away. I
Yeah.
thought I waited
You waited
until
till
someone-
people started coming in. I said, when you
Yes.
go live, just start talking like you've got an audience.
Yes, Susan
Yeah.
messaged me, and right away on my next live, you just start rambling Like, how are you? I hope
Paula is
somebody
the
comes
canary down the
on.
mine. She's the canary down. She's like, okay, how do we do this? Boom. Okay, what am I doing? And you were chewing gum. Remember one day you were chewing heaps of gum, and
You
then
had the
later
fern
on you're
on your
like,
head one day. The
I'm
fern
not
was
going to chew the gum next
And then
time.
her
But
phone wouldn't
honestly,
stay
and
up.
what's your oh, but talk
Yeah.
about the visiting bit, like how you just spontaneously go live as well. Like that
Yeah.
just
oh
blows
yeah.
my mind. That blows
I
my mind.
I
I
just
love it.
visit. Maybe it's coming from Northeast Tennessee where we just visit. But like one time I tried to have something to talk about, like our favorite movies, and nobody wanted to talk about that. So we just ramble. I I don't really know how to explain it.
I
know
did learn
one
about
time
you
there
though. I
was
learned that Wizard of Oz is your favorite movie from that, you
Wizard of
know?
Oz is my favorite movie. Yeah, yeah.
and she
Yeah, but
reads
see,
the questions, which is good because I like read the questions, Phil, if you're doing one, because sometimes we're watching or driving, and it's good to hear the question being read. And Paula does this, and then she answers it. And I mean, we could definitely, listen while we're driving or whatever. And
That's a really good tip.
to
Yeah,
do,
because if you
yeah.
don't repeat the
Yes.
question, you don't, it's just random words. You're answering something,
Yeah.
but we don't know
Matter of
what.
fact, I think that's a strategy. Even if you don't have, like, I have I have all these comments, all these questions that most of the people watching my video, they don't see those. So
Yeah.
that's a great way,
Yeah.
an idea for live. Here are the top 10 questions this week on my channel,
Right.
and I'm going to address them, and
Oh,
just
that's a good
have
idea.
a just talk about that, and then let if anyone shows up, great. If not, they can catch that on the replay.
Yeah. Now I remember what I was going to say because you said that. So I was talking about I always watch the criminal, like true crime stuff, and I watch court cases. And Carl Steinbeck, I really like him. He's a big lawyer, but he'll tell the people in the chat on his lives, look, we're not here talking about what people look like and blah blah blah. And just be kind in your comments because we're not putting up with that. But please be kind and keep the chat clean, blah, blah, blah. And, you might have to do that, sooner or later. But I respect him for saying that, because if I say a comment and somebody goes, who the heck do you think you are? So, just try to be, because people get into tips on those things like, why did you say that? Be nice and, stuff like that. And, but I just think that's kind of a good idea too. But
Susan, remember when you were with me on my live and the guy left because he said he couldn't tolerate my high voice?
yeah.
And Misty was like, his name was Stranger. Misty was like, Stranger, be nice. Yeah, if somebody disses your friends, you want to jump on them and say, stop that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah,
there's
so the
always
thing
a butthead or two.
There is.
Yeah.
But just the way I see you, Paula, like you'll just, go out onto your balcony or in your
My
backyard,
porch.
your massive farm that you've got, whatever you call it, your porch to your house or something. But,
Yeah.
you'll go live and you just are chatting with people. I've really been just reflecting on
She's a natural.
it's community building, isn't it?
For sure.
It is.
Because the fact that I was even talking about how you are so good at just being so
Thank you.
like aware of the comments, and you'll just really include people and bring that in at the right time and everything. But it's that visiting thing. People are saying hi. So I've been thinking, yeah, like I've only done one live by myself, but I'm like, just have a couple of things that they're ready to talk about and maybe start talking about that when there's nobody. And when people come on, interact with them and just understand that you've got a couple of bullet points to talk to. That's your safety net. But actually, if your main sort of purpose is to just interact with people, like that's pretty cool. Like that's an amazing tool, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I guess I
But
should
you
wonder.
won't get to a lot of your things, I don't think, Phil. Like, you know what I mean? Like you'll have so many people so excited to
Oh,
ask you
you'll have a
stuff,
huge audience. Yeah.
and you'll want
I
to, be present for that.
Yeah. I guess I should
That's
wonder, like, what will I
exciting.
do in case there's a time when nobody ever shows up? But I guess I'll just turn off the live and go in the house. I don't
That's
know.
when you talk about the movies. That's when you
That's
back up
when I
on it.
talk about the movies.
That's
Yes.
that's right. You're like, I'm talking
Yes.
about my movie today.
Well, Paula, that's where to help me get over the anxiety of that happening, I'm going in just like I would with my classroom. I'm going in with a lesson plan. I'm going in with a purpose. Here's what I'm talking
Oh,
about today with the intent. No one's coming, so that in the
True.
future, I'm doing this for future viewers.
That's what I
And
did.
then,
I did on
Oh,
my
yeah.
one. Yeah, I did
Yeah.
that.
yeah, cool.
Yeah, you
That's
did. Yeah.
what I would do.
Yeah.
Just like it's a video.
Yeah,
that,
make it
that
like
you
a
don't
video.
have to edit
Good
it.
idea.
Or you could, but
And,
that
and you
is
know
a good
what? I
idea.
think, and I think I actually called mine like, oh, this is like a bit of a video newsletter. Like I've got, 5 little things to talk to you about, like what's top of my mind in the YouTuber space on my channel. Like I literally just said, oh, this is a new format I'm trying, like instead of a newsletter. So I literally kind of like rolled that, like I got to 3 points or something, and then I was chatting with people. So
That's a good idea. You start with an idea, and then they might come in and change your direction, so you don't get to finish
definitely,
that. You could always
Yeah.
go and do a video on that
and you
topic.
could go back
that's
to your
right.
bullet points if you have it
Yeah.
on a
That's
bullet
right.
point.
Yeah.
Phil,
like
what
Rob,
time? Go ahead.
well, Rob the Mariner, I think he does something. I kind of like the way he handles it. He'll usually he's got his point of what he wants to cover in his live, but he has a section where ask him anything, and he spends 10 minutes to an hour just answering
Oh,
questions,
I love
and then
that. I
he
love
gets
that.
into what he was going to do, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So there's lots of different ways you can do it, but I think that works.
He's so good to watch. I love his
He
style.
is. He's so
just
real.
calm. I love his walks. He does.
Yeah.
I like
doing
how
it.
he kind of chuckles after he'll talk and he'll chuckle. Miles does the same thing.
Mhm, Miles does
Oh,
that. Yeah.
Miles.
Yeah.
Miles does
I,
that. Yes.
I've just found Miles.
Yep.
And
I
I've had,
love Miles.
yeah.
He is a
What
He's
sweet
a wonderful guy.
He is.
Yeah.
So
I
what
was
do you
actually
do for hobbies, Phil?
Well, that would be a sad part of
What's
my
your
life.
free time of unhooking from
It's
social
been
media?
honest. I don't. I'm out of balance on that right now, and have been for quite a while now. I would say my most passionate hobby is pickleball. I actually was the second in the world.
Oh yeah, you can tell us why you don't do that.
About what?
You had on that video about pickleball court, and I'll tell you why I don't do that anymore or something.
Yeah. Well, I haven't done that story yet because it's a negative about the community that was the reason I got involved with pickleball. I love the game. I love it. And for the people, and the reason I haven't played for 2+ years, 3 years is because of the people. But what I did was when
Very
I started a
competitive up there,
podcast.
too.
I started a podcast. I was the second one in the Apple iTunes podcast, whatever, on
Wow.
pickleball. And but that went by the wayside because I had fun with it.
We'll wait for the video
it's
on that for sure.
yeah, I'll have to do that. I have all the those will just be fun things to talk about. But yeah, pickleball. Trying to think. I love hiking. I don't do hardly any of it right now. We're going into the season here where you've got to go north. You're not going to go out even to you're with the heat in the desert. I'm out. I do a lot of research, watching. I'm not watching. Most of what I watch on YouTube is for ideas, how-tos. I watch what they're doing. I spend hours, and I enjoy that.
yeah.
Me too.
It's a real
So yeah,
favorite thing, actually, to be honest. Like if you're a creator, like, and you really love making videos and all of that, like
yeah.
it's a hobby for
I had
sure.
said on a
Very-
previous live that if I didn't have a husband and a son, I would cancel all of my streaming services, all of my. I don't do anything now except for YouTube. I watch so many creators and I look up things that I want to learn, and
Yes.
I'm out of time, so I
Yeah.
don't use any of these. Every once in a while,
Right.
I'm trying to watch the Karen Reed special on Netflix because Susan has mentioned that story so many times. I wanted to see what that was about. I'm about halfway through that. Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we like to follow YouTube once we are a creator. I think my
Right.
husband always watched it, and I never really watched anybody on it until I thought I might want to start a channel. And then I started watching people who started channels, and that's how
And
I
you're
found
watching
Karen.
people
Karen
that
was
you want to
encouraging,
be
and Rob, all these people were
involved
very
in or
encouraging.
liking. Then
Yep. So I found them, and then I'm like, all right, this is what I started doing. But my husband had always watched videos, and that gave me the idea of the people making these videos. I mean, he sits and watches somebody dig a pond. It's relaxing.
Lewis does.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
The
digging
weirdest
ponds,
stuff. I'm like, dude,
chopping
what are
down
you doing?
trees. He watches this one farmer who cleans cows' hooves. Like, is that really?
I
He
should watch
hours
that.
and watches
I'm
this
like,
stuff.
look at that white.
I'm like, all
I
right,
was
if,
trying to
if
remember
somebody
that
is
story
watching
yesterday.
this, certainly I can get somebody to watch me. If somebody
Yeah,
is watching
yeah.
this.
And do you know
Popping
what?
pimples.
That
I wouldn't
encouraged.
watch that, but people like that.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
And the other day, Brenda just thought, "What the hey? I'm going to do some car wash videos." So
I
she
went through the
put
car
two
wash
car
and
wash
I
videos
put
together,
it up there.
and
It's
she's
got
had
like 45, 50 views, whatever.
Yeah.
I love that one.
When I'm sitting there doing nothing but going through the car wash,
I
might as
think
well
it's
film
funny
it on
that
the
you just
creator
think of
now.
little things. I wonder how this would go. Just like
Yeah.
my soda, doing
Yes.
my orange soda, it got
Yeah.
like 1,700 views, and this
That's
kid goes,
crazy.
"Whose
I
mom
know,
is
like I was
this?"
fixated. I was fixated on the way you did the can and the whole
Yeah.
thing, right?
I did that.
Pouring it in, the ASMR.
There's somebody out there that will watch anything, I've decided. So I don't
Dude,
care what I
really,
post.
that's
I
me.
have it fun. Yeah.
But
Hey,
you know
you
what,
just
though?
did-
I
With your
think
mayonnaise, you put your mayonnaise in a seatbelt and drove home with it. And you know what
I
that
did.
made me do? It made me buy Duke's mayonnaise to give it a try.
Oh
There's
my
no other
God.
way.
do you
It
know
was
what
an
that is? Honestly,
advertisement.
Paula, you would be great for UGC, the user-generated content.
Yes.
Like you are a natural. Like
Yes,
honestly,
yes.
and that
Oh,
could be part of your portfolio. That particular video, you can say, "Look what I can do."
Dukes is going to say, "Where's the new mayo?"
Yeah, you'll get a
well, I'll have
brand
to
deal.
look into that. Add that to my resume.
So Phil, did you say, or that's okay if you are just keeping it under wraps until you make a decision, but did you say what your second channel, if you decide to do it, is going to be
Oh.
about?
Yeah, shut up, boomer.
Oh,
Yeah.
the shut up boomer.
It
Oh,
was
so
a
you're going to talk
joke.
about the
The
oh, it's a
comment.
joke. Okay,
But
so you're not thinking of doing a second channel.
I'll tell you what I might take serious and put in the back of my mind is the Phil Unfiltered.
Yep.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Except, guys, I'll tell you what, to be honest, that would become controversial. One of the things I
Of
pride
course, of
myself,
course it would. Of
yeah,
course it would.
and I'm
Yes.
not,
It's a
and
fun
I'll tell,
joke. It's a fun
yeah,
joke
it
to
is,
laugh
it is,
about, eh?
it is. You know what I might do is add a day where I do maybe just a shorter video called Phil. I'll add, what do you call it?
Yeah,
A
your little
segment called
series.
Yeah.
Phil Unfiltered.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it'll be for fun. It'll
That's a
be
good
fun.
idea.
It's
And
totally
Yeah.
for
you
fun.
could do that as a series, episode 1, episode 2.
Yeah. And I'm going to say sponsored or inspired by Karen,
There you
a
go.
real
Yeah.
Karen.
A real
Yes.
Karen. And you know what?
Karen, the
I
real
am
Karen.
I am such a real Karen. I am Karen the manager. Like I am a manager of my job, you know? And
you
I
just talk to
literally
the
am that
manager.
person who will just be enraged about something and I'll put a complaint in and yeah. But seriously, honestly, when you've got it's the gift that keeps giving. It really does. Just when I think, but honestly, do you know what? It's made me really think about the Debbie Downer, all these little slogans that we say, the negative Nelly, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I never used to think about that. And I rattle off, oh, what a Debbie Downer. And I'm thinking, well, how could you be like, mildly offended about, all the Karen, the manager things going on when actually there's a bunch of women's names, right? I don't know. Are there any guys'
Actually,
names
Brenda
that are
is
really
one.
insulting?
I can't
Brenda
think of
is
who
a
the
name.
male Karen name
my
is.
son has said that. He's like, "Oh, you've got the perfect name." He's like, "All right, Brenda." And
Brenda.
Right.
I didn't know there was a Brenda.
yeah,
Her name's Brenda.
No,
Oh,
I know
my-
Brenda.
Oh.
I
Yeah,
didn't
no,
know
that
there
is-
was
it's
like a
not.
Brenda like there's a
There's-
Karen.
there's
No,
a
there's
Karen,
not,
there's
but
a
it's-
Brenda,
That's a
there's a
sarcastic way to say
there's
it.
a
But it's
couple
our
other
Gen
ones.
X,
There's a
it's
couple
our Gen
men's
X
names.
names, boomer names, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So Brenda, is that like a bossy person or something?
No, I don't know. I'll have to ask and find that out.
I'll have to
I
Google
know
that
there's
later.
it's not like a Karen. It's different.
Do you work tonight, Phil?
Can you still hear me?
Today.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Yeah.
can.
My AirPods just
Are
I got
dying?
one left.
Yeah.
I can go in and just put it on my phone deal, can't I?
You should be able to.
But yes, I do work. In about 2 hours, I go in
Yeah.
today.
I was going to tell you, if you need to hop off,
Yeah.
I don't want you to feel like you
I
gotta-
actually have to go and relieve my husband. He's been put in charge of my father for the day. We took
Okay.
Dad today instead of tomorrow because, again, for the 27th weekend in a row, it's raining. Since November 14th, we've had snow or rain every single weekend.
New York.
At least, yeah, upstate New York. It's just rainy season right now, I guess. But so we took him today so that we might be able to go and do something tomorrow. So I put him in charge. He's a nice helper.
Yes.
Good.
Very supportive.
Yeah, by the way, is my volume better or worse, or my mic?
It's okay. Yeah.
It's better.
great.
It was low
It's
for a
great.
little while.
Okay, perfect, because this is what I'm going to do on my live stream. I think I'm going to use my phone,
That's
use my
nice.
iPad to follow whatever, and just use my phone mic.
Yeah,
worried about
and
the
it
feedback.
sounds good, except for
sounds
a
good.
phone mic. Yeah,
Yeah.
Go
And an
iPhones,
actual-
man. I'm sorry, but
I'm telling you.
Well, do you
That's
know
all
what?
I've
The
used
very-
to make my videos. I don't use anything else. I bought this microphone thing, but it doesn't fit into my phone when I have the case on, you know, the thing with
Oh,
the
yeah.
fluffy thing on it.
Yeah.
And I haven't even used that yet. So my iPhone is what I've made every single video with. And then I do my voiceovers with it. So far, so good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
they
mean,
do good
iPhones are great.
voiceovers. Yeah.
Honestly, the built-in mics are amazing.
Now I only have a 12, so I don't even have the good camera. The good camera came out on a 13, which my husband and son have 13s, but I've got a 12. So I'm the one making the videos with the bad camera, but whatever. It's working.
It's fine.
They always look
Yeah.
great, Brenda.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And I would tell you if they didn't.
Okay.
Probably not on a live, but in a personal text.
Yeah, and in the private chat, she'll tell you.
The private chat, I would say, you need to work on that, honey.
So, does
Right.
does work know that you've got a YouTube channel? I think I saw. Did
well-
Susan? You asked that question, didn't you, Susan? On a comment.
I don't think so.
With the line
Oh,
of
I
fans
might
waiting
have.
to say hi to him, they
I
probably know
think you
now.
did. I think you did. You said, "Oh, does
no,
work know?" Yeah.
it's not something, you know. Well, let's put it this way. I started talking to my coworkers about it. And and then it did get back to an assistant. Actually, I talked to my store manager recently and just said, he said, "Hey, I hear you have a YouTube channel." Now, I had just done the Home Depot thing. I did not tell him. Yeah, I actually went viral about my feelings about working at Home Depot,
Yeah.
which is all positive. It's good.
Yeah.
Positive.
Yeah.
There are
For sure,
negatives
but
to it, but it's
I
positive.
saw a lot of positive, especially with the guys helping you out, and
Yeah.
you don't even have to ask them.
Yeah.
That was
So-
wonderful.
So yes, they know about it. I don't know if corporate, and one guy came on right after I posted it and said, "Hey man, I assume you're not working there anymore because a lot of corporations have social media deals." So then I freaked out because here's what I thought: they're going to make me take it down, or they're going to fire me.
Yeah.
And I guess they still could, but
I don't think they will.
my feeling is, yeah. As a matter of fact, a friend that I've made through my channel, he's a brilliant guy. He's an illustrator, and he's going to help me do some stuff. And he said he was, or I'm getting confused here, but one of the guys were saying that they were surprised they have not contacted me to use this
Exactly.
in their marketing,
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
because there are hundreds of those hundreds of people, men and women, that say, "I want to work at Home Depot
Yes.
when I retire."
Exactly. And in your comments, you had several people that worked either there or at Lowe's and said they loved that job.
Yeah.
So-
My
they
father
did.
worked for Home Depot after he retired. He was an
Yeah.
electrician in the Navy, and then he worked for the power company. And when he retired, he went to Home Depot and worked in the electrical department. It
Yeah.
was perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I used to watch this
But you know
guy.
what,
he
Phil?
was-
All the comments where people were going, "I worked at Home Depot for this many years and I'm this age now." So many positive comments. I mean,
yeah.
that is amazing PR for them. Like,
It is.
you can't buy that, and no one is
No.
buying it, which is why
Exactly.
people are like, "Wow, here's a guy." And you've been there for 3 years, right?
Going on 4 years in September.
So you're talking positively about them.
Yeah.
And you've worked for them for that long. They cannot buy that kind of referral.
No.
Not
No.
at all. Mm-mm.
Yeah. And plus with that Jack Morgan that did a response to my video. His video now, it's his biggest performing video over the last 30 days. It has I forget 100, and it's a lot of views, well over 100,000, 150,000, and it has 3,000 comments. Now that's where I get all my good information about, criticisms.
Right. Is
Again,
that
not
his
the majority,
channel
not the
name,
majority.
Jack
Jack. Yeah, I'd love to talk. He's 35 years old. He's a cool guy. He's really doing good. And
I'm gonna check him out.
it's Jack Morgan _ RLP, Red Leather Podcast. He did it was cool. I thought I was going to get blasted. He made a comment. He said, "Hey, I saw your video. I really like it. I'm gonna feature it on my channel. It takes, I appreciate you kind of being honest. He said that's not easy to do. So I was like, hey, thanks, man. I didn't know where he was going with it. And then when I went over to watch it, I thought, oh man, is this gonna be ridicule me, make fun of me? And he was right from the start saying, you know what? He says, I watched this whole video. It's like, I like this guy.
That's right. That's right.
Awesome.
Nice. Very nice. Everybody say hi to my friend Jana. I hope
Hi,
I'm
Jana.
pronouncing it right. Jana Omar. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, Jana, let me know. Jana was on one of my lives. I think it was last Sunday or maybe the Tuesday before that. And Jana is up to 100 subs. Woo!
Oh,
no,
amazing.
hey, Jana,
Nice work.
Jana, are you talking about subs or are you talking about that test you were taking?
Oh,
Jana, you're talking about a test, right? Yeah, I got it right. Jana. I always mess it up. Give me a moment, everybody. So I got it right the last time. You mean your name is Jana and you were studying for a test, right?
oh, so the 100 was on a test.
I think the
that's
100 was
good.
on a test. Yeah. Yes, I definitely remember you. I just got your situation confused. Yes, congratulations.
Yes.
100 on a test. Yes, you had to leave to go study for a test. I remember you very well. Sorry, I didn't mean to turn that into the Paula show.
No, hey, Paula, tell the story about the student asking you about your voice.
Oh, at school, not on a live, but
Yeah.
at school.
No, at school, yeah.
Yeah. Is fifth grader or sixth grader? What did I say?
I don't know,
think
it's just a student asking you, about your voice.
It's the little girl Phil and everybody. Hello, everybody. That I had her in class several times, but hadn't talked to her really individually at all or that much. I can't remember. And we were chatting, and she said, "Can I ask you a question?" And I said, "Of course you can." And she said, "Is that your real voice or just the voice you use for counseling?" And I said, "This is my real voice. This is all I have." So, yeah,
It's got the one.
Yeah.
I think that's so funny. Like, what would she have done if I would have said, "Oh, this is just my counseling voice"? I don't. Yeah, Karen, that's one of my favorite school stories.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was going to say, Phil. So are you going to, on your live, are you going to address some of your comments? And I wondered, are you going to talk to the Maserati thing or not? Because it's like not really a thing. You know what I mean? It's like people be peopling,
Yeah, I don't. That's
You can talk to it as far as it's the point of people don't understand or watch the whole video to get the meaning and comment before they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, actually, that's a good question. I got to get on that, because my reason for doing this live now goes way beyond celebrating 500 subscribers. And so I might just speak to that for a little bit. I asked in the deal,
yes, positive,
okay, that's where
start positive and strong. Yep.
Yeah. I asked in my post, hey, if you want me to answer a question, put it down below. I did get a number of questions, what they'd like to see. I've also collected some questions I've seen in the comments. That's what I'll do. And then allow them, that's what I'm gonna do, is just answer. And then I will talk about a couple issues of being of the miscommunication, it's the misunderstanding. And that's another thing. And when I look back over my videos, I go, oh my gosh, I consider myself, I'm a terrible storyteller. I get a lot of comments. Oh, you're tell a good story. Okay.
No, you're good.
But what happens is when I hear it, I think, oh gosh, I should have said it this way. I should have prefaced that with this, and I whatever. So that's the great thing about the journey on YouTube. We will become a better us. I would love to think that
was
5 years.
my reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll become a better. I'm looking forward to becoming a good storyteller, because what the experts are saying out there, the storytellers will rule the world in the future.
Yeah.
And I think
It's all
I've
about
It's
story,
way
isn't
back
it?
in the day for all the Asians are real big about storytelling.
Yep.
And
I've become more confident too. And just telling a story is
right.
something I hope to become better at. I'm telling it through video and voiceover now. I want to get better at doing it in person because the voiceovers I just keep deleting and trying again. Instead of just getting a story out once and being done with it. I'd like to get better at that. But the things I've had to learn, the keeping my brain active, learning all this new technology and how to do all this stuff, and just finding things to go and do to make content has kept me more active. And that's, that's kind of what the legacy is, one of the things. But the other thing is just, it's keeping me active. It's keeping my brain active. It's giving me purpose. It's giving me a new hobby. It's just, I was trying to get ready. I've got 5 years, I think, until retirement, hopefully.
And then it's full blown YouTube.
And then, well, I want it, and that's what this 5 years is. Let's get it up. Let's get it ready so that when I'm free to do it full time, I'll be good to go. But I wanted, you don't wait. And I did a video about that. Don't wait till retirement to start doing all the hobbies you want to do in retirement, or the traveling, or whatever you can work in. And because I work in a school, if I had the money and my husband cared about traveling, we would travel in the summertime because I have that time off,
right.
And I'm doing the hobbies now and doing the things. But I was of that mindset in my late 50s. I was like, all right, when I retire, I want to do this. Well, no, I got to do things now because your days are not, you don't know, you're not promised, Phil, you were close. And, days are not promised. You never know. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what about you, Susan? What's your recent, you had like a really nice success a couple of weeks ago, didn't you?
Yeah, I was just going to ask her to talk about that.
Oh, yeah. At school, I'm at a high school that's 11th and 12th grade. It's an academy. So it's, they do AP classes. Kids can graduate from there with a pharmacy technician certificate and go and make $25-$30 an hour. And it's called all like college prep, but we had a new class. We've got a new class coming in August, and all the parents came in a few weeks ago to check the school out, and the kids got to go, look around while the parents went into the theater. And then we gave them, all the spiel, the principal talk, the bookkeeper, this is what you got to do. And then the school nurse had the talk, and I'm walking across the stage and the lights are all shining down. And I'm like, oh my gosh, before YouTube, I would have been a nervous wreck. But they handed me the microphone. I'm like, hey, how are y'all doing? And I just felt like I'm doing a video. And it was just a real good, feel-good moment that I could talk in front of a crowd. There was at least 150 parents there. And after I got done, they all clapped. And I was like, oh, wow, I must have done pretty good because nobody else got clapped at. But it just gave me I just was so excited to talk in front of people. And before I'd be like, oh my God, please, I don't want to go up there. Just, it's amazing what YouTube will help you with. So
that was a really cool story. I love that story.
I had talked before, Phil. I never would let my picture be taken or me be in a video. But having to do remote learning during COVID, I was used to getting on camera and teaching a class and doing my therapy and all that. And so when it came time to YouTube, I'm like, that's not even a concern. That one was taken care of for me. But this definitely is making me more confident. Keep trying.
Marie said, Phil, I loved your I got to make it quit moving. I loved your after the blow up video. You were talking about blowing up. It was very real. Although I haven't blown up as much and with my channel is popping off, as Karen would say. And hers is, she does meditation and has that, I call it a British voice. She lives in Spain, but
yeah, she is British, I think, or she's got the British accent.
She's a sweetie. And
yeah, she is.
She was doing journaling and stuff like that and going around the city talking. And then she started with the meditation thing. And I mean, she's got it. She's got that voice and everything. So I'm so proud of you, Marie. You're doing really good. I can't wait to see you grow and be up there. Can't wait.
Amazing. Well, we probably need to let you go, Phil, because you're
Yeah,
you've
I've
got things to
enjoyed.
do, places to
Thank
be,
you so much for coming
you
Yeah,
on.
listen.
YouTube subscribers to bump into.
Well, I've told this has been really fun. Really fun. It actually is. I mean, yeah, it's been really fun. It's great to meet y'all. I think it's kind of cool how this is the good part of social media, connecting with
Right.
people never met before. We've never, and yet if we met next week, I would feel very comfortable, like I've known you
Totally.
for a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Yes,
just like
for
that.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what community is all
Yeah.
about. It's so wonderful.
This was an unexpected part of me doing YouTube. I had no idea this was possible to
Yeah.
meet people and actually
Yeah.
talk with them.
One of the thoughts I had with the viral video is I just felt, because I felt like there's no way I can actually thank people or just even, they've asked me to go and respond. I thought, what I'd really like to see is a gathering, put everybody into that big room or common room, and what I would let them do is let them have a voice. They might have a question for me, but I would love to have them understand that, hey, you have something to say, and there's people out there that would like to hear it. It's for them.
Yeah.
Because I sense that with people that are doing YouTube, they want to do it, but they don't. So if we help them, even by this, help them
Exactly.
get to that
One
point.
person.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
know what? Totally. Because to be honest, we've gotten so relaxed about doing our lives. We were just
Yeah.
talking on our live
Oh,
yesterday about like we went for more than 2 hours or something, and Susan was in the complete darkness and running across the road to get her dog who ran across the street and talking to her husband. Her husband's going, "There's
Excuse me,
there's
dogs
moths
first.
coming in," and she's kind of, they've obviously got to think about like, let's keep the moths down, and she's kind of going, "Oh, that's okay. The moths are fine. The moths are fine."
I was sitting there
Trying to
going,
keep the life. And we were chatting.
it was like
Paula goes,
camping.
I was like camping,
hey,
and Paula goes, "Karen, like, how do you think? How do you think we've like, how's this been for us since we've first started doing our lives?" And we were all talking about the first time we were just like we've
hey,
just been
wait,
taking these like
wait.
some bad substances or something and sucking dummies at one of these like
I
rave
think
things.
wait. Those are still up, right?
They're still up. They're
Yes.
still up.
Okay, we all need to go.
My
Everyone,
first one was good. It was after that.
guys, if anyone's seeing this later or now, before they take this stuff down, go see it.
We're never taking it down. And do you know what else too? I'd
Oh
like
my
practiced
gosh.
with some headphones in, and then with my husband, and we'd done all the things. I'd even woken him up in the morning going, "Oh no, I'm doing something different. I need to send you the link so we can practice doing the recordings in bed, blah, blah, blah." But anyway, I then put it on. I'm going, I can just hear my voice coming back and I can't hear anyone. So I was like, all like, "Oh, hi.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Ooh.
Thank you, Paula. Over to you, Brenda." Like, because it was really wooden, and I was just really unsettled and really like not present. And after a while, I thought, why don't I just take the headphones off, pull them out, and just use the thing? But then guess what? And then we were saying the next one and the second one, I'm putting my mascara on, like, well, wandering off, getting a cup of tea before we go on live, before we go live.
What's
And the
backstage?
first one, we were like plugging in, we were rushing off, and everything was all really. But after that, it was like we're doing lipstick. It was
Yeah.
literally girls
Just
in a
being
bathroom
girls.
at a party or something, just super relaxed,
Yes.
which
It
is
it
nice. It's
really
nice.
is just like sitting in a room talking with friends now.
It is.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, we're literally just like, "Oh, well, if you make it back in time, like you, Paula, like you're going, well, actually, Randy, he really wants to make this show and do. Now he wants to stop at Lowe's, so not sure if I could make it." I'm like, "Just
Yes.
join when you get back," and
Yes.
yeah, all good stuff.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. And all this while, Jana and I have been having a private conversation over here about my hair, and the color we like, but we're thinking I might get bangs cut. So we're having an aside conversation over here in the comments about my hair.
Yes, and I'm talking about with Alison asking you why she can't see you typing. I'm saying that you are doing
I know
typing
she's upset at that.
ventriloquism.
I saw that. I gave such a boring answer, and then I saw yours, and I thought I should have put I'm doing it by telekinesis. Is that the thing you do? Like you think it in your mind
Yeah,
and it
Yeah.
happens?
totally.
Is that
That's it.
telekinesis?
Yep,
Hey,
yep.
let's say goodbye to Phil because I'm sure he's trying to get out of
Yes.
here. So
Oh,
I think
yeah.
he's gone. I
Bye,
think
Phil.
he's
All right.
thank you,
separated.
Phil.
See you,
We
Phil.
appreciate you joining us. It was a pleasure. We so appreciate it and can't wait to watch your first live. And we're here for you guys.
So amazing. All right, ladies.
Okay.
Thank you
I'm
again.
gonna go
I was so
relieve my
lucky to have
husband.
had Phil. Oh my goodness. I'll make sure that I've got his link to his channel in there. But wow, what a treat today, right?
Yes, it was
That was good.
wonderful. It turned out awesome.
Honestly, I'm
It
sure he's
is.
going to be the American Rob,
He,
right?
he's
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
gonna be up
Definitely.
there. He's gonna
Can
be
you
up there.
imagine the audience he's going to have when he does that live?
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to have them waiting in line to make a comment.
Yes.
He will. He will.
He just has that personality
Mhm.
of
He does.
he's got
So
the
humble.
voice and the personality. I really think he's gonna really shoot up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
All right,
Awesome,
ladies, I'm gonna
all
head out.
right.
Bye.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you to
Brenda.
your hubby. Say
Bye-bye.
thank
Bye,
you
everybody.
from
Thank
us.
you all for
Bye,
joining us,
guys.
Savannah, Marie,
Bye.
everybody.
Thank
Jana,
you, everyone.
Jana, I'll be live on Sunday, so come find me on my back porch on Sunday, Jana. We'll talk about my hair some more. I love you all.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.